rancher.
John Arthur?
A nonchalant one vivant.
Award-winning writer.
Nonchalant.
Songwriter.
Nonchalant, bon vivant.
Salud.
How loud I am compared to you,
You gonna go ahead and do that?
No, I just want to hear. Volume wants to hear volume. Starting your concert with volume. You big fan. Good. Thanks, Crony. I like this tune. Yeah, I'm a little flat. Well, so I'll get it.
I'm assuming this is for the band. All right.
All right, we're gonna start off with something we know.
All right.
And we're gonna start off with something Mike and I co-wrote together.
Whoa.
School let out, the June bugs came. With the heat, all the prayers for rain. Spent that summer on my grandpa's farm, fiddling around and sweating up a storm. Grandpa sure was good with the bow. There wasn't one fiddle song he didn't know. He tried to show me the way he played. You should have heard the noise I made. If I've learned a little, you know my granddad told me so. It ain't so much the fiddle, oh, it's the man who holds the bow. The man who holds the bow. After my chores were done, the sun sank low. He tried to show me the Cotton Eye Joe. I played that fiddle till my fingers were sore, and in my dreams I played a little more. If I've learned a little, you know my granddad told me so. It ain't so much the fiddle, no, it's the man who holds the bow. The man who holds the bow. Only learned one tune and I almost had it licked. Hay was baled and the cotton was picked. A cool rain fell before the leaves began to fall. I was fiddling at the harvest ball. If I've learned a little, my granddad told me so. It ain't so much the fiddle, no, it's the man who holds It ain't so much the fiddle, oh, it's the man who holds the bow. The man who holds the bow. It's the man who holds the bow. Thank you much.
All right, we'll take a 45-minute break now. More Chardonnay.
Y'all played that before.
Nachos.
Let's play Cause in the Key. Okay.
You were about to say something. No, you're good. Your turn.
This song is called This Time of Year, and it's about this time of year. Look at that beautiful sunset.
Look at that.
It's going to get even better. Pretty good backdrop for our stage here. Thank you, Bob and Marilyn, for doing this.
Thank you guys.
I don't know about the boys in the band here, but I feel pretty special. Like we get to come play a live gig in the middle of where everybody else is just watching Facebook. You know, I really appreciate this, and the weather is perfect. The people are perfect. I might just bust out and blubbering like a big old baby at any moment. I'll try to hold it together. Anyway, a song called This Time of Year. I wrote this with Walt Wilkins.
On the highest cattail on the west bank of the pond, the red-winged blackbird sings like a gondolier in the day's first ray of sun, shooting down through the mountain pass. It's like a bullet from a gun, baby, this time of year. And across old Mexico, over the Sierra Madre range, man, you ought to see them roll on their way here. They can darken high noon, rattle these old canyon walls, but they make the cactus bloom, baby, right this time of year. And I found you this time of year. The last frost long gone in the summer near. It just goes round and round, but it always comes back here. Comes right back here. I fall more in love with you this time of year.
Kurt Balmer on the fiddle. Here comes Chris Lee. there's one thing I know, is that a man in love can sure make a garden grow. Honey, just look right here. We got the sweet corn by the pound, red tomatoes on the vine, come straight out of the ground this time of year. And I found you this time of year. The last frost long gone and the summer near, and it just goes round and round, but it always comes back here. I fall more in love with you this time of year. It just goes round and round, but it always comes back here. I fall more in love with you this time of year. Oh, this time of year. Oh,
Man, what was wrong with that?
it's good to be here any time of year, but this time of year is really nice.
Well, recently, my mama and some fans, they sent me a little bit of gas money, and I said, hey, Chris, if I give you a little bit of gas money, will you do a little recording for? He actually said, no, I don't need any money. I sent it anyway. My mom won, and Kurt won, and gave Kurt a little grocery money too, and we recorded 2 new songs. And so anyway, I want to play one of them. We'll play them.
In my beer suit.
This whole set, but I'm going to start off with the one that I first recorded with Kurt. This is one that was based on a little tale that my sister-in-law and brother-in-law told me. They said they were driving back from Fredericksburg after we had done a show at Hondo's, and they said that these 3 white horses with no bridle and no saddle, and they were just running straight for them in their vehicle. As they were headed back to San Angelo, they took one of the back roads, and they stopped and they took a picture, and they said, well, there's got to be a song in this somewhere. And anyway, this is what I came up with. I wrote this with Kerrville New Folk Award winner Rick Bussey. You know Rick.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's see
I'm going to see if I can pull it off here.
never done this one in a normal tune. It'll be interesting to see how it comes out. Oh, this is the only thing.
I took a route less traveled by a rolling ranching road. There were no 18-wheelers, there were no heavy loads. Where I waved to a weathered man in a worn-out step-side truck, made me smile when he waved back. On the freeways, no such luck. I drove through miles of cotton fields and white clouds in the sky. So the white clouds in the distance, well, they barely caught my eye. I pulled onto the shoulder as the ghosts moved into focus. Was it my imagination? 3 cotton-colored horses, 3 white Spanish horses across Comanche lands. 3 white Spanish horses, untamed with no man's brand. No bridle and no saddle, they were running straight for me. 3 white Spanish horses, wild and free. This vision led me to a time, no cattle guards and fences, to a land not yet named Texas. When they first came with their horses, I could picture open spaces with Comanche riding bareback. On the horses they had captured herds of bison still intact. It took me to the cotton fields I worked by Grandpa's side. It led me to that white horse that only he could ride. Then I saw the weathered man again. He drove with more conviction. He pulled a two-horse trailer. I soon understood his mission. 3 white Spanish horses across Comanche lands. 3 white Spanish horses, untamed with no man's brand. No bridle and no saddle, they were running straight for me. 3 white Spanish horses, wild and free. I heard him holler cotton, and the lead horse turned his way. The younger horses followed into the open gate, and he traveled at a horse's trot. Cotton followed, still unsaddled, as they headed to his homestead in this land of horse and cattle. 3 white Spanish horses across Comanche lands. 3 white Spanish horses, untamed with no man's brand. No bridle and no saddle, they were running straight for me. 3 white Spanish horses, wild and free. 3 white Spanish horses, wild and free. 3 white Spanish horses, wild and free.
See that? That is awesome.
Well, while we're on horses and cowboys and stuff, the outside circle.
All right.
Yes, sir.
It's a cowboy song I wrote with my buddy Damon Rogers, who is now a songwriter. He's got the songwriting bug, but he's really a real working cowboy is what he's always done. And he told me about this idea about the outside circle. When a bunch of cowboys go out, especially like far west Texas or Montana or anywhere in between there, with this wide open country, big ranches, even open range sometimes with no fences, you'd go out and you got to round up cattle in a certain radius, certain big area. So you send riders out in circles, and each circle gets bigger than the one inside of it. And somebody has to ride the outside circle. That's the longest way around. That's the longest, roughest trail. So the young cowboys they all aspire to one day be chosen to ride the outside circle. That means you got the best horse and you're the best rider. That's the reason we wrote this song. When I was a young boy, my age was barely 10, riding my first roundup with the older boys and men. The foreman sent our top man where lesser men might fail, to ride the outside circle, the longest, roughest trail. I watched that top man ride out on a skittish colt that day. Once on a distant ridge, I saw him turning horns my way. Deep into the herd by evening, his pony soaked with sweat. I made myself a promise that I still remember yet. One day I'd ride the outside circle. I'd make a top man riding through the sage so purple, round the Ocotillo stand. And I'd chouse the wildest cattle on the roughest broncos, and I'd ride the outside circle of all the grand. Give me a little turn around here, girl. I held my promise sacred. I aim to keep my word. I learned to throw a fast loop from the rankest in the herd. And it was 10 years later when I heard the roundup boss. He said, "You'll ride the outside circle, son. Go catch yourself a horse." And I rode the outside circle. I made a top hand, riding through the sage so purple, round the Ocotillo stands. And I chows the wildest cattle on the roughest broncos, and I rode the outside circle of all the brands. Ride that circle, Bert. How y'all like the band up here? Damn. These days I'm the foreman. Some say I'm getting old. It's true, my hair is silver. You can see my legs are bold. And I ride the inside circles now. But just ask my cowboy peers. They know I rode that outside circle for well nigh 30 years. Yes, I rode the outside circle. I made a top hand, riding through the sage so purple, round the Ocotillo stand. And I chows the wildest cattle on the roughest broncos, and I rode the outside circle for the brand. In my dreams I ride the ridges, in my stirrups I still stand, and I ride the outside circle for the brand. The longest, roughest trail. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm getting shivers. I'm getting like a shiver me timbers. I'm feeling so good. Hadn't played a live gig, in a while, so this is nice. Especially with this band.
So I promised you I would do the other new song. This one I knew would be right in Chris's honky-tonk Telecaster wheelhouse. Boy, it sounds really nice. Well, it was inspired by our anniversary my wife and I had on February the 20th and our 21st anniversary. And she had put up with a lot early on. I didn't have any place to live at that time. I didn't even have a very decent vehicle to drive, and I didn't have anything to sell. I didn't have any CDs. She said, "How come you don't have any CDs? How do you call yourself professionals?" Anyway, suddenly I had a team to play for it. I thought, well, I'm going to ask this lady to marry me. Everything just seems to be going pretty good with her, and so I went ahead and asked her to marry me, and I thought, well, I better get her a ring. And so I didn't have any money to buy her a decent ring, so I went over to the pawn shop, Lakeside Pawn Shop in Marble Falls, Texas. And I took my most valuable possession in there, and I'll let the song tell you the rest of the story. There's a line in here in the song, and you'll see it. I'll kind of wink and nod at you. But it's a line that actually my wife said to me. And I thought, there's my next country song right there. Mike, you're gonna know this harmony by the end of the song, I guarantee you.
I'm here for you, brother.
1, 2, 3. The man behind the counter gladly took my fine guitar. He offered to Ben Franklin's as he chewed on his cigar. It was my prized possession, the most expensive thing. I sold my handmade Washburn for her pawn shop wedding ring. Once upon a pawn shop ring, our love was shared aloud. That symbol of eternity, once someone's broken vow. But God can work His miracles through every little thing. He works in the strangest ways, once upon a pawn shop ring. And on our anniversary, I bought a brand new band, never worn by any woman, never sold it to any man. She whispered as she opened that small box from the store. Our old pawn shop wedding ring still means so much more. Once upon a pawn shop ring, our love was shared aloud. That symbol of eternity, once someone's broken vow. But God can work His miracles in every little thing. He works in the strangest ways, once upon a pawn shop ring. He works in the strangest ways, once upon a pawn shop ring. That's one of the silver linings of being cooped up a lot. Is you get to, I've been doing a lot of writing, a lot of reading. Mike always told me years ago. He said, "Well, if you're going to be a writer, you got to be a reader too."
Yeah.
Huh. I said that?
Well, maybe you confirmed it.
I've said a lot of stuff I forgot. Don't get me wrong. I've said some other things I wish I could forget. I was enjoying that song so much I forgot to think of a song I could play. That's a great song, right? First, I hadn't heard that song before just now. That was amazing.
That was amazing.
That is amazing. Wow.
Okay, I'll go the complete other direction. This well, not even there. It's,
Oh my.
This is a song I wrote. I want y'all to know this is not autobiographical, but I hear these things happen. This is a song about a one-night stand and a wedding. just fun to play. It's bound to have happened somewhere, Kurt.
Mike, I'm always curious as to why you're so emphatic with these disclaimers. This is not autobiographical. Earlier he was telling a story and he says, and I was not drunk at the time.
That wasn't me. I swear it just did not happen to me. I am a fiction writer, you know. I make stuff up. My memoirs will someday be total fiction. It's going to be amazing. I'm karaoke and air guitar. She was champagne and caviar. Beam on the rocks is my go-to drink. And hers was Dom Perignon, I think. I was the groom's best man. She was the maiden of honor. When we walked down the aisle with her on my arm, my heart was a goner. Hey, it is what it is, and it ain't what it isn't. Now it's all in the past. It was never meant to last, and you can bet it didn't. But that one steamy night in my memory still lives. It was what it was. We did what we did. Now it is what it is. At the reception, the drinks were free. Her door was just down the hall from me. When she invited me into her suite, her French perfume swept me off my feet. She said, just kick off your boots. And then she tripped on high heels and fell into my arms with her charms, all my heart and my kisses to steal. Hey, it is what it is, and it ain't what it isn't. Now it's all in the past. It was never meant to last, and you can bet it didn't. But that one steamy night in my memory still lives. It is what it is. We did what we did. Yes, it is what it is. Up with a lipstick kiss. She said, remember us just like this. She had a corporate jet to board. In the days I drove home in my Ford. Oh, but sometimes at night I can't help but pretend, and I fall asleep with her name on my lips my skin. Hey, it is what it is, and it ain't what it isn't. Now it's all in the past. It was never meant to last, and you can bet your ass it didn't. But that one steamy night in my memory still lives. It was what it was. We did what we did, now it is what it is. Oh, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah!
Quite possibly a true story.
Quite possibly. That line always gets me. It ain't what it isn't. That is.
That's the twist on it. I'm glad you say you're a great songwriter, so I appreciate that you get it.
Every now and then those kind of stories stir, and you wonder, did that really happen? I remember this 3-story old house from the early 1900s in San Marcos on one of the back streets near the university where I was leading the group with my dad's little Mexican requinto, singing La Bamba, and there was a conga line all the way around the building through 2 floors. People followed me around, and I just remember, did that really happen, or have I just imagined that? And then I think, no, that really did happen. All right. This is not a song about that. This is a song that I wrote with my buddy Kent Finley. And he was the owner of Cheatham Street Warehouse in San Marcos. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Cheatham Street in San Marcos, but Cheatham Street was home to some of the most amazing talent. I know that Delbert McClinton had a regular home there in his early days. George Strait had a regular gig there with the Ace in the Hole Band. In fact, it wasn't even called George Strait. It was just called the Ace in the Hole Band there in San Marcos. And Stevie Ray Vaughan had a Monday night blues gig there. Kent just had this nose for talent, and he always gave everybody a gig. We never made much money. I did Friday happy hours there. But every Tuesday night, there was a little wood fire. And now he does it on Wednesdays, but at that time he was doing it by the old wood stove. On a Tuesday night, he'd hold a songwriter's circle, and this was his favorite night of the week. And he would stand up at the beginning of the night, and he would say, "Tonight is writer's night." He said, "Everything that you will hear tonight will be something that the person singing it wrote." He said, "I want you to respect the writers, and I want you to listen." He said, "I don't mind if you talk, and if you want to have a conversation, somebody comes in and you haven't seen in a while, that's fine. Do it outside." And so that's how he started up. And his staff knew that they better police it. You know, he would put a plywood sheet over the pool tables, and nobody could play pool. I mean, you went and ordered beers in between the songs. And anyway, I remember there was a guy over to my left. He's to everybody's left, Todd Snyder. That's a joke for you musicians out there. But anyway, Todd was over to my left. I know that there's a guy named Bruce Robinson that showed up regularly. Terry Hendricks, she first came out. We thought her song.
Terry and Lloyd both.
Yeah. And Lloyd came later. Terry came first.
Hal Ketchum?
Hal Ketchum, a bunch of these guys. And anyway, we'd always have some new song because Kent, he was such a leader. Anyway, I'm going to get to this tune. This is one I wrote with Kent Finley at Cheatham Street Warehouse, and I had driven through the hill country after my daughter had gotten her vehicle repossessed. I had gotten it back from the payday loan people, and I was still fuming about that. I was driving through Devil's Backbone from Blanco into San Marcos, and the road was winding, and there was Devil's Backbone Tavern, and a little further along there was Purgatory Road. And just past that, I got into San Marcos, and I got across the railroad tracks, and a freight train was coming down the tracks. I thought, this song has already written itself. I said, Kent, we just got to make this thing rhyme. Lost my paycheck bitten on the skins. Folks I love are paying for my sins. I took out a loan, I put up my truck. I'm gonna lose that 'cause I can't pay up. I took a wrong turn, should have gone right. A freight train's coming, my knuckles were white. Made a deal with the devil to pay what I owe. Now I'm driving like hell down Purgatory Road. I've got a pretty missus, 2 brown-eyed kids. Can't bear to tell them all the things I did. I'm gonna lose the house, it's the last straw. She's moving back with my mother-in-law. I took a wrong turn, should have gone right. A freight train's coming, my knuckles are white. Made a deal with the devil to pay what I owe. Now I'm driving like hell down Purgatory Road. Call the collector on the phone. I stopped for a drink at the Devil's Backbone. I went to pay my tab, but my card wouldn't clear. Too low down broke to buy my own beer. I took a wrong turn, I should have gone right. A freight train's coming, my knuckles are white. Made a deal with the devil to pay what I owe. Now I'm driving like hell down Purgatory Road. Try to warn that quick stop clerk. I said, don't be stupid, you won't get hurt. Well, he had to be a hero, he went for my gun. There's blood on my hands and I'm on the run. I took a wrong turn, I should have gone right. A freight train's coming, my knuckles are white. Made a deal with the devil to pay what I owe. Now I'm driving like hell down Purgatory Road. Purgatory Road. Purgatory Road. It's all based on a true story except for the last verse. I really didn't kill anybody.
Allegedly.
I ain't proved it yet.
I don't know. Bond right now.
Touche, as the friend. He said, best disclaimer now. How's the mix? Brooks, you're a musician. Everything sounding all right?
Sounds wonderful.
The mix sounds good? Or the mixed drinks tasting like that?
Do you need a drink?
Yeah, well,
You have mixed feelings.
I'm fixed up pretty good with the Chardonnay right now. No, I'm okay. I just poured me a new one. I keep a close eye on it. All right, let's do something here. You got me in like a cool bluesy mood here. Let's do that song I call Sister Moons.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, getting serious. I might need a little piece of the wire one. It sounds like more wire than the house. I'm hearing some wire. I ain't hearing it.
Let me,
I don't know what's.
I may have brought it down a while ago when you were overpowering Chris a little bit, but I may have need to bring it back up here now.
I don't have the mic on at all right now. It's just,
Hang on, un momento.
okay.
Oh, yeah, if you're doing strictly the wires, you need some.
I need some more push.
Yeah.
Well, no, I can put it back on. It's just that's amazing. Yes. That's where I get my effects right there.
We get this dialed in. This is going to be sweet.
I'm giving you a little bit more wedge too, since you don't have to.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
This song I wrote because I pulled over at a gas pump in Marble Falls, Texas, some 20-something years ago, and Debbie Walton, she cut me off at the gas pump there, and I'm a gentleman. I said, Debbie, go right ahead, and then she honked at me, and she wanted to get in the gas lane before I did, and I said, sure, go ahead. And she said, Mike Blakey, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm fixing to gas up and go to Fort Worth and play a gig. And she said, I got to play a gig too. I'm running late. Imagine that, Debbie Walton running late. And she said, Mike Blakey. She always called me Mike Blakey. Like my whole name. And Mike Blakey, why don't you write me a song? I need you to write me a blues song because I'm going to cut an album finally. I said, well, thank God, it's about time you cut an album. She'd only been singing about 2 or 3 years, but it was about time she cut an album because you know Debbie Walton. She had the soul in her. And I said, Deb, I'm not much of a blues writer, but I'll try to come up with some little thing or whatever. So all the way to Fort Worth, I was thinking about what the heck I'm going to do. I decided to do something in a little minor key. And she recorded it, and it was a cool deal. She does a great job of it. And when we recorded it, John Arthur put this real cool capo thing on right here. Well, the moon was rising and the night train did moan, and I watched from the hillside alone. I admit I was drinking, but I swear I seen it right. The sister moon ran away with Mr. Night Train last night. Well, the night train made his move, have a bottle past 4. I was drunk, y'all, but I kept on drinking some more. The sister moon said, Night Train, I love to watch you roll. And the night train said, Moon, you are so cool the way you blow. The sister moon ran away with Mr. Night Train last night. I was drinking, I was feeling alright. Night train was morning, the moon shone bright. The sister moon ran away with Mr. Night Train last night. I guess Kurt Palmer does play the blues. Well, the moon started falling and the night train rolled west, and they kissed at the skyline, undressed, undressed. Then the wine stopped flowing and it ended too soon, and I cried for the romance of the night train and the moon. The sister moon ran away with Mr. Night Train last night. I was drinking, I was feeling alright, alright. The night train was morning, the moon shone bright, and the sister moon ran away with Mr. Night Train last night. Sister moon ran away with Mr. Night Train last night. Sister moon, she ran away with Mr. Night Train last night.
I forgot how good these guys were. I haven't played with them in a while.
Wow.
I'll be doggone.
Wow.
I make a little 3-chord blues song sound pretty, minor chord, 3-chord song sound pretty damn good.
Sound like a major thing.
Major.
All right, here's one that I wrote with Jan Landry. She's out of London, England, but she got to Texas as quickly as she could. Anyway, this is one that was inspired by, well, from her perspective, she was leaving home to travel the Soviet Union back when it was the Soviet Union with a rock and roll band out of London, England, and she had to break it to her folks she was leaving, and I think she was 17 or 18 years old at the time, and I guess that's what you definitely call a vicissitude, right, Mike?
A what?
Vicissitude. But so anyway, I thought, well, I'm going to put it from my perspective. Chris is out of the Abilene area, and so I kind of wove Chris into it a little bit, wove me into it a little bit, and this is what I came up with. He did a lot of gigs in Abilene. I mean, he played more honky tonks in Abilene before he was 15 than.
Then you should have.
So good. Awesome. Honed his chops.
One, two, by now you found the letter that I wrote you in the kitchen right beside your favorite cup. The flowers are to say how much I love you. Simple words I never say enough. Please forgive my coward's way of leaving. I wrote this so there wouldn't be a scene. And by the time you start the morning coffee, I'll be close to Austin, closer to my dreams. Last night I said goodbye to Aubriana. Little sister's tears were hard to take. We talked about what might have been in your life. I don't want to make the same mistakes. We'll be staying with the drummer's older brother. You know how much I love to pick and sing. I know it's not the road you saw me taking, but on the road to Austin, I'm closer to my dreams. There's no need to save me from what I'm meant to do, from what I'm meant to be. I've got your eyes, your stubborn way of thinking. I've got Daddy's gift of words and his guitar. And though I promised not to follow in his footsteps, my leaving wasn't meant to break your heart. And by now you've had your second cup of coffee. I'm miles and many towns from Abilene. But don't worry, Mama, I'll call when I get there. When I'm close to Austin, closer to my dreams. When I'm close to Austin, closer to my dreams.
And our backdrop, I don't know if y'all can see through the trees, but this beautiful little sliver of a moon and a planet. I guess that's Jupiter, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
It's gorgeous up here. Y'all ought to come over and look at it.
It's probably Venus. If it's towards the sunset, it's Venus.
Did you really play that?
Is it Venus? That's Venus.
No,
I didn't know Sister Moon was looking over our shoulder when we played.
Jupiter, oh my gosh, look at the moon.
There's crickets out there
Yeah,
too.
it's Ramadan. That's the Ramadan moon.
Is that the Ramadan? It's the Ramadan moon?
Yeah.
How do you know these things? Your phone tells you? Anyway, this is just beautiful with the sunset still lingering, and then you got the moon and Venus.
That has to be, yeah, that's the big star.
Okay.
Jupiter's like more over there.
All right, Jupiter's over
It's
there.
been up, but it's gonna some time to do this.
It's all good.
It is.
I just happened to look back there while that beautiful song was playing on. I said, how blessed are we right now? It's good to be us.
You know, I would suggest that we take a break, but take a break from what? We've got plenty of beverage and.
Take it on one set, I like that.
I don't want to take no break.
Playing the first live gig before a real audience in weeks, so what are we gonna take a break for?
We don't want to
I
quit.
need a buzz.
Take a break?
I'm gonna pay Morgan exactly the other day. Just so I can see what.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Bob and Marilyn, for putting this little soiree together, because it's really hitting hard. It's great. It's a beautiful thing.
Is it a soiree if it's at dark?
I don't know if it's a soiree is a determinant factor between light and dark.
I think it's only a soiree if it's in the daylight.
Really?
Yeah.
We gotta look that up.
Do we have a French speaker in the audience? Must the soiree occur during the daylight hours?
No, I know it's spelled like Soiree, right? Soiree.
I've heard of a continual soiree.
I mean, I can stand corrected. I'm not trying to be a...
You're sitting uncorrected right now, so.
Continual soiree.
As a nighttime soiree, there's no such thing!
It's an oxymoron, you moron.
This is the way the language develops and grows, evolves. Here's a song I wrote with two of my buddies, Larry Snake Eye Nye. Y'all know Larry Nye out there? One of the best guitar players in Texas and therefore the world. And record producer, real estate monkey. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Larry's a happy man. He fishes. He lives on Lake LBJ. He used to play with people like Stephen Stills and Jimmy Buffett. When Jimmy Buffett first hit the big time with his first big hit song, "Come Monday, It'll Be Our," offered Larry Nye a job, and Larry said, "I don't know, I'm with Fromholtz here," and you know Fromholtz was at the same place that Jimmy Buffett was.
Right.
He said, "I'm staying with Fromholtz. Thanks for the offer." And Larry was kicking himself years later. But we love Steve Fromholtz, the late great Steve Fromholtz. I'm glad I got to know Fromholtz because I knew Larry.
Buffett doesn't live in Key West anymore.
He doesn't?
We got to meet him because of you.
Okay. Well,
You never heard that song?
so anyway, I wrote this with Larry Nye and Mike Seiler, who born in Lubbock, and he lived here in the hill country for several years. We became friends, and we all wrote songs. And Mike Seiler has one of the best country voices ever, even to this day, even though he's a throat cancer survivor, and he never smoked, by the way. He just, he sang in a lot of smoky bars. Maybe that had something to do with it. He's still singing. He came back from that, and he's still singing. Sounded great. Mike Seiler in Nashville. He lives there now. And Larry Nye and Mike Seiler and I were heading to Lubbock for the National Cowboy Symposium. We all had horses in addition to guitars back then. I still got guitars and horses, but anyway. That's all right, it's an addiction. But we were going out there, so we'd haul our horses out there because they always had this trail ride associated with the National Cowboy Symposium. We played music all weekend long. Like you play set after set after set all day and all night. And they paid us to do all this. But then this trail ride on that particular year went up on the Cap Rock in West Texas. You know, the Palisades up there. So we got to ride on a private ranch up on the Cap Rock, and I couldn't refuse that. So on the way there and on the way back, we wrote this song called "It's About to Get Western." One. The good old boys are riding brim to brim from the ranch to the rodeo. Old Tommy draws a wild one, a little bronc called Smokey Joe. Smokey Joe ain't never been rode, but Tommy ain't never been throwed. And as he settles into the putt and shoot, he says, "Boys, here comes the show. 'Cause it's about to get western around here tonight." Yeah, hit right. You better wear your working clothes and pull your hat down tight.
It's about to get western. I don't mean it might. It's about to get western around here tonight. Go ahead and take one right now, Kurt. Tommy's spending all the private money later on, buying drinks at the dance. He's making eyes at the rodeo queen, and he figures she's worth a chance. Some big bulldogger by the name of Earl says, Tommy, that's my girl. And as he ducks Earl's knuckles full time, he starts to chuckle, said, well, all right, let her whirl, 'cause it's about to get western right here tonight. On a Saturday night, you better wear your working clothes and pull your hat down tight. Hey, it's about to get western. I don't mean it might. About to get western around here tonight. Well, the rodeo queen gets the fight broke up. She drags Big Earl to the pickup truck. And a cute cowgirl grabs Tommy by the hand, pulls him towards the dance floor, hollering at the band. Well, it's about to get western right here tonight. Saturday night, hey, wear your working clothes and pull your hat down tight. Hey, it's about to get western. I don't mean it might. About to get western around here tonight. About to get western. I don't mean it might. About to get western. The Cowboys delight. That's whoop-worthy right there.
Oh, it is. It is.
We gonna do a holler and a swallow? Hey, let's do a holler and a swallow. We're gonna count to three, and if y'all are glad to be alive during the global pandemic here in Burnett County, if you're glad to be here with us under this beautiful sky with us, man, always a good friend. On the count of three, everybody a holler, and then take a swaller on the count of three. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Everybody swaller now. I said it on purpose the second time.
Oh, was it? Ouch. It's been a couple months of Sundays since we've done that.
That kinda has,
A
hasn't it?
couple months of Sundays.
You're right.
Just give it a sip.
Couple of months of Sunday.
I haven't been wine drinking for that long time.
Well, they often drink wine and say that.
Type that in your notes and say, Jerry's from Sweet.
We're going to turn it loose. Boys in the band there, Chris Reeves. Originally from Cisco, Texas, now living in Burnett, Texas. He recently was part of an amazing cruise that featured an amazing array of talent that I know you guys love. Not only country talent, Americana talent, honky-tonk talent, but man, to get to back up folks like Chris Christopherson and role model of the Mavericks, man, that was just had to be a thrill. That was a cool gig. And speaking of Christopherson, I know Kurt recorded with Christopherson on one of his the soundtrack for a program for was the History Channel.
Yep.
The History Channel. So anyway, these guys are two of the best in the world, and we're just gonna let them cut loose on this thing called the Cherry Spring Swing. How many of you have ever been to a honky tonk like Green Hall? I know many of you have. You've been to Lukenbach. And
Oh, God, where is it?
back when I was growing up, there was Ed's 281 Club in Round Mountain before it mysteriously burned down when profits got low. And there was, but there was also Cherry Springs Dance Hall back in its heyday. It was bigger than any of these other spots. Bigger than any of those spots. Big or bigger than the Broken Spoke. Chuck Berry played there. Hank Williams, Patsy Cline, Hank Thompson, Willie Nelson, on and on. I'll let the song tell you the rest of the story. Elvis Presley at Cherry Springs.
Yeah.
In fact, he never got credit for it. Oh, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. Elvis, his name was misspelled on the poster. So as far as Fredericksburg is concerned, he was Clovis Presley. That's true. That's true. That's true. And the surviving granddaughter of the family, of the Lehman family, tells me that he was booed in Fredericksburg. Clovis was. But anyway.
Clovis was shaking his booty too
He'll
much. They
never
don't,
make
they
it.
don't cotton to that there in Germantown.
He'll never make it.
He'll never.
Go west, young man, to Cherry Springs, fiddler's rule, swing his king, finds playing for the door, like a Texas troubadour. Walk the floor where E.T. cried tonight, he heard his child died. Hear a spirit from above the rafters echo faded love. Elvis called a rising star, saw Chuck Berry's red guitar, Hank first, Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash once walked the line, shiny boots, it's Saturday night, you'll swear Bob Wills is still alive. German folks still love to sing the Cherry Springs swing. It's just outside Germantown. You'll hear the fiddle man break down. The bar will take you back in time when young Ray Price was in his prime, bound by a native son before the West was truly won. Water run for the old dance hall, but is it time for one last call? Buck and Lefty took the stage, even Willie back in its heyday. The Negro swing band played their tune, and Marty Robbins sang blues. Shiny boots, it's Saturday night, and you'll swear George Jones is still alive. German folks still love to sing the Cherry Springs swing. Clovis called a rising star, saw Chuck Berry's red guitar, Hank the First and Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash once walked the line. Shiny boots, it's Saturday night, and you'll swear Bob Wills is still alive. German folks still love to sing the Cherry Springs swing. Mike, you guys have to go out back here. We're going to be. Give us just a couple of minutes. We'll be right back.
That was a pretty good first set.
Yeah!
I think we can hold our heads up high. Except when I said misspoke a word. What was that word we're going to look up?
Soiree.
The soiree.
Continual soiree.
Evening soiree. We'll be right back directly. Don't go anywhere.
Red pony. Red pony.